What's good, guys? Y'all know beside the updates, beside the news, I also like to bring topics that I can give my humble opinion about. And in this case, I'm gonna speak about a situation that a lot of brothers they gone through the app of Airbnb. Airbnb is a popular app that is being used for majority of the travelers because it gives you a lot of benefits and all of that. But in Colombia now, the Airbnbs, the guest-friendliest Airbnb, they seen that they about to get a chance by the government. The people from Medellin, especially the mayor and his people, they working on a project that is gonna regulate Airbnb more than what is regulated now. Let's speak about this and let's jump in this new video. The rules for platforms like Airbnb could change in Colombia with this bill with one brother and better tourism. Representative Daniel Caballo presented a legislative initiative that seeks to establish controls and standards for data accommodation service, prioritizing environmental protection and the well-being communities in tourist destinations. Representative to the House Daniel Caballo announced through publication on the social network X the filing of a bill that will seek to establish clear rules and controls to platforms like Airbnb. The Antioquia congressman explained in his message that the bill seeks to transfer the way tourism development in Colombia. He also highlighted the need to promote tourism, not only grows in the numbers of visitors, but also guarantees better conditions for those who live in tourism areas and for the natural environment. The initiative proposed tools for better territorial planning and places special emphasis on the protection of ecosystems and deprivation of touristification. Carvalho emphasized that tourism must be more balanced, sustainable, and fair, and that is essential that the development of this activity take place under clear rules that protect both communities and the country's resource, opening the door to regulations that consider the social and environmental impact of digital platforms. We filed a bill that promotes a more balanced, sustainable, and fair tourism for Colombia. We want tourism that is not only broader but better, with territorial planning that respects carrying and capacity, prevents touristification, and protects our ecosystem. Tourism, yes, but with clear rules and protect the communities, wrote the legislator belonging to the Sixth Commission of the House of Representatives on his X account. Along with this message on X, Carvalho published a video with the former Undersecretary of the Environment of the Mayor Office of Medellin, Camilo Quintero Giraldo, which is both explained the reason behind the bill. Carvalho noted that they have observed what happens in cities like Paris, Venice, Barcelona, or Mexico City, where tourism has experienced such and grown that it causes negative effects on the local communities and urban development. Carvalho and Quintero detailed that the main points proposed by the bill both explain the first of all, the initiative seeks to establish clear rules and control for Airbnb type of rental platforms, with the aim of organizing their operations and reducing the negative impacts on cities and communities. In addition, they highlight that the project aims to protect and strengthen community tourism, promoting the development of locals, initiatives that directly benefit the host populations. Finally, they emphasize that one of the priorities is to guarantee the protection of most vulnerable populations, preventing crimes such as exploitation in the context of tourism activities. They also explained that the initiative contemplates making tourists behave according to local norms and also respect the residents who live in Colombia. They underlined the importance of those who visit the country adopting responsible behaviors. Likewise, they indicate that the project seeks to establish specific controls and sanctions for noisy tourists. In the presentation, they also emphasized that they need to give more tools to the mayor's office, but be careful without creating more bureaucracy so that local governments can have effective control over access in tourism. They added that the project includes carrying capacity studies for a specific tourist destinations such as Comuna Tutin, the Tres Cruces Hill, or Guatapé. At the end of the presentation, the project Camilo Quintero Giraldo underlined the importance of learning from international experience and state we need tourism to be an opportunity for everyone without repeating the mistakes of other countries. For his part, the representative of the Antioquia Chamber, Daniel Caballo, expressed in the central objective of the initiative with phrase, "We want fair and sustainable tourism based in collective benefits." I'm in a lot of groups like Passport Bros, Passport Blue Cartel, Blind Travelers, and many of the groups. And something that I've been seeing a lot of the groups is that a lot of brothers, they've been getting a lot of cancellations from Airbnb. The spot that they used to got before that was guest friendly back then now ain't guest friendly anymore. This start in Sosua, and he said that it's coming also to Colombia. Who knows? Because the mayor of Medellin and his people, they're working on a project that is gonna regulate Airbnb more. And something that I've been seeing about Medellin now is that if you go to the platform Airbnb, well, this is happening to me. You know, I kind of speak for everybody in the moment, but you can find places that say guest friendly spot. Like my clients, when I flew to Medellin on May 28, we were over there, and the Airbnb that they booked, it says like at the title, it says guest friendly Airbnb. Now I went to the platform Airbnb just to look, Airbnbs, to spend like time on it, and I realized that the place has changed the name. It's totally different. I don't know if they say guest friendly or not, but who knows? And like I say, who knows how this gonna end, fellas? But all of this, got an explanation. And like Colombia, and I guess, Sosua also, they trying to become like, a better place. But my mom says something, she always been saying something like, like take care of your reputation, because even if you die, your reputation is still gonna be around. And the reputation that Colombia and Sosua has, the Dominican Republic as an adult service, destination, is never gonna be gone, even if things get better over there. Because what you do in life, is gonna stay forever, even after you're gone from this world. You know what I mean? The thing with all of these chains, and I know a lot of travelers, they're gonna be mad, they're gonna be speaking, no sense things. They're gonna be like, like so angry, with themselves and maybe with the country, because a lot of brothers, I think, and I feel like they think like toward countries they don't have the right to do better. You know what I mean? And like I say, I hope, the brothers don't get offended, but that's what I think. I'm not mentioning everybody in the mama, but like I say, some of them. And, Colombia and DR, I've never been to DR, but, I'm from Colombia, so I can speak about Colombia. But I've been seeing a lot of videos about DR. Those countries, they have a lot to offer more than women's. But, unfortunately, I say unfortunately for the locals, unfortunately for the travelers who goes to those countries, to get, women, all of that, which is not my problem, like I've been expressing in a lot of my videos, because maybe somebody can jump off and say, oh, you're jealous about American men going to Colombia, to date you woman, to sell you woman, all of that. I don't care about none of that. There is too many women in Colombia, and none of them belong to nobody. Just your turn. You got to enjoy as much as you can, because after you leave, it's going to be the next person coming in, so they don't belong to nobody. You just got to enjoy your moment. You know what I mean? So that's not the case. Like those countries, they really trying to do better. And, like tourism, they've been in charge of giving them the power to even like not to be afraid. Because, listen, when the mayor of Cartagena, he decided to shoot down the clock tower, and a lot of clubs that allow the girls to go over there and work. Honestly, me as a tour guide, as a business owner, because I have an agency in Cartagena, Colombia, I was afraid. I was afraid about that, because I said, like, damn, like, he shoot down the clock tower. He really, like, he's crazy. A lot of people, they're going to be canceling the flights, all of that. And maybe that happened, but, we are still eating. We are still continue, working with tourism, a lot of men, a lot of brothers. Because, that's what the topic is about, brothers. They are still coming to Cartagena. So the tourism, the amount of tourism that is coming to Cartagena and Medellin is making the mayors and his people not to be afraid to shoot down the clock tower and to shoot down your spot because they know that a say tourists will come. You know what I mean? And a lot of brothers, what they've been doing, and you know, and this is what a lot of brothers should do. You already been, if you've been in Colombia many times, you know, it's no, I mean, I don't see, and I'm not saying, you know, this is something that you should do, but I don't see, you know, like every time you come to Colombia, you go to the clock tower, be walking around, you know, you go to Medellin, you go to Jeddah to walk around. I feel, you know, if you are like old school in Colombia, you should find a different places, you know, and if you have, you know, a lot of working gurus, you know, contact, just reach out to them because, like I say, this, you know, guest friendly spot, you know, Airbnbs, they about to take a hit, and Airbnbs, you know, they can be mad with the governors, with the mayors, you know, with the government, because at the end of the day, they're the one, you know, who are allowed them to be working in the country, I guess. You know, if you are wrong, somebody can let me know in the comments. But this is the current situation, fellas. So I don't know if the Airbnb guest friendly Airbnb gonna end. But what I do know is the mayor of Medellin and his people, they're working on a project to regulate even more the Airbnbs in Medellin. And the thing about Medellin is, like, I've never been to a place in Colombia because I had never left my country yet. Hope I can do that next year, God willing. Who knows? In the name of Jesus. But long story short, you know, I never been to a place like with that they have more restriction than Medellin. Me, my friend, his girl, three of us, we went to Medellin, you know, on July 15th to the 18th, and we booked an Airbnb. And when I tell you guys, they have so many restrictions. You can even, like, the only thing that they were missing to say is, like, you can walk on the building, because they were saying all kind of craps, all kind of things. We have a lot of people from our city who live in Medellin that they can't even come and visit us. You know, it's prohibited to smoke, you know, all of that, all kind of things. You know, they were like so. The building was like so private. You know what I mean? And a lot of the Airbnbs in Medellin, they like that, and they're gonna be even worse because all the craziness that is happening, that was happening in Medellin, because I think now it's getting better with all, you know, people losing their life, you know, a lot of brothers, you know, they getting scalped with all Colombian gangs, because this is not just about tourism, but tourism, they're more easy to target than Colombians, you know what I mean? And yeah, you know, so the hosts, they got to take care of the property, because they don't want to get, you know, ugly comments, you know, like ugly review, you know, none of that, because at the end of the day, I mean, you can book him for a week, but, you know, he expect to get more clients, you know what I mean? So he can depend just on one tourism, make him happy, and then something happen, and they may be, you know, gonna blame the building, you know, oh, I was staying in this building, don't stay there no more, because, you know, at the end of the day, business is business, and these people, you know, they're trying to do the best. So my advice for all the brothers who being old school and those new ones is just, you know, like trying to find a way how you can do better in Colombia and DR, because like I say, even like before you get in town, I've been saying this many times, and, you know, I don't support, you know, like other service, none of that. I'm just giving advice as a man that I am. But, you know, before you get in town, just trying to, like, because I knew that this is something that probably won't happen soon, but maybe it's gonna happen, that they maybe, you know, prohibits the guest friendly Airbnb spot. I don't think like they can really do that, because at the end of the day, you know, it's not like private. It's not just like one person who owns Airbnb. They have a lot of people, you know, different owners, all of that, and the owners decide to what to do with, you know, his apartment. But, you know, the apartment, if the apartment is located in a building, and the building say, you know, they don't allow visitors, none of that. Now it's a hard time for that weekend warriors who go into Medellin and who goes to Cartagena, Colombia. Honestly, I said like 4 years ago, like it was more easy for people, you know, to find a friendly spot, you know, when the craziness wasn't that bad, you know, with all these people getting scalped, all of that. But now it's super hard. Now I can come with my hands the Airbnb that I know that they were guest friendly, and also the hotels, because I recommended a hotel to a client, and he messaged me saying, Carlos, they charging me $80 for every woman every visitors that come to my room. I was like, man, I apologize, but I told was to say guest friendly. You know what I mean? So like I say, you know, the advice of the brother is like get your woman info before you get in town. Otherwise, you know, they're gonna be like saying like, you know, like they may come out with a drama and saying, oh, we don't allow, like visitors to come here, all of that. And also, I think like it's a business strategy because, like if you already register somebody on an Airbnb and they don't allow visitors and you're trying to hang out with another girl, you got to book another one just to go over there with the girl if that's something that you're trying to do. You know what I mean? So I don't know how this is going to end, and I hope, like everything work out for all, the communities, Passport community, Colombian community, the locals, because at the end of the day, and this is something that I also almost forgot to say, but in 2026 in Colombia, they're going to choose a president and they're going to choose mayors, like all kind of people for the government. And these people from Medellin and for Cartagena, they're going to do whatever they can to make locals happy so the locals can vote for them. And if it does mean to like shoot down some Airbnbs, guest friendly Airbnb, they would no though, because at the end of the day, they trying to just get the benefits and what's important for them. And tourism is important for them, but at some point, but tourism can vote for them if they are not, like locals, Colombians. You know what I mean? So like I say, who knows how this gonna end? But I hope, everything's goes well for everybody. But the brothers, they gotta be, like mentalized about what's gonna happen and put it on the mind. Like this, is about to take a hit, it's about to take a chance, and it's up to you guys, how you guys gonna move. But honestly, those cities, Cartagena and Medellin, in terms of working words, they'll never be the same. They'll never be the same, like they used to be back then. But you got to deal with it. If you complain, there is nothing you can do. If you have something to complain, go to the embassy and complain over there. But there is nothing that you can do. You just got to deal with it. You either, like a friend of mine say, you had two options. You either get mad or you either get happy. It's up to you, like it's on you. You take the hit. But fellas, see you soon, guys, on the next video. This was Carlos, the Colombian, guys, and thank you so much. Thanks for everything. None of this would have been possible without y'all watching me behind the screen. So see you guys soon.